You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Sweaty merchandising. In Parts Passim, I analysed the latest pap walk from Harry's wife, desperately demonstrating the attempt to assert control and draw fuel by wandering around in a car park or parking lot whilst being photographed, and also being filmed walking down some stairs with a chubby bloke in front, apparently a bodyguard. She piled on the clothes despite it being rather warm, and of course the reason that she did that was nothing to do with the temperature, although she will have recreated the pit stains of doom. It was for the purposes of merchandising. The Daily Mail helped her out, of course, by explaining that she was wearing a $1,650 Max Mara wool coat, and then went on to reel off everything else that she was wearing by explaining that she had a pair of white capri pants, which were held up by a $450 Givenchy belt, a $1,225 Hermes Reyes d'été shawl, and a $1,380 pair of Chanel goatskin cap toe slingbacks. She toted a white Goyard purse, worth $1,650. Accordingly, anybody else would be wandering around in trousers, probably shorts and a short-sleeved top, but Harry's wife, of course, has to wear pants, top, coat, scarf, and carry a large bag, which looked like it had absolutely fuck all inside of it. She's doing all of this because she wants to draw a reaction, but she's also merchandising. Money is a huge residual benefit to Harry's wife. She's a grasping, greedy individual. Expects to be paid for a royal walkabout, expects to be paid millions of dollars, and then present you with just a short series of crappy podcasts. Expects to be paid tens of millions of dollars, and then produce one series for you. She behaves in the usual entitled fashion. But here, she's trying to generate more money because she has come to expect a certain standard of living. Poor old Ginger Bollocks isn't up to the job of supplying it, and that's why her narcissism will be causing her to sniff around for a replacement. But in the meantime, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, and that isn't going out with some honest endeavour, like many people who work bloody hard. No, it's by throwing on a load of clothing, despite it being weather that would suggest you don't need to wear all of that clothing, for the purposes of trying to merch it. And interestingly, having done that and of course caused the Daily Mail to publicise what she's wearing, you'd ask yourself, how is it that the Daily Mail are able to identify so quickly what she's wearing? How do they know what type of scarf it is? How do they know what type of coat it is? It's not like they can zoom in and spot the label on them. There are, of course, certain items which are very clear in what they are. For instance, you'd be able to spot a pair of Louboutin shoes as a consequence of the red sole, something by Louis Vuitton because it's plastered with the LV all over it. And, of course, they have fashion experts who, in the same way that somebody recognises the make and model of different cars, they are able to identify the different types of fashion. But there are so many fashion labels, so many different types of coats and shoes and pants and handbags and tote bags and so on and so forth. They can't possibly recognise everything. They might have a stab at saying, well, it looks like it might be Max Mara, but it could be somebody else. No, the real reason that outlets such as the Daily Mail are able to find out is that there happens to be a handy repository of information, one of which is on Instagram, and it's called What Harry's Wife Wore, although they use her real middle name. As you know, I don't. And it very handily provides you with a little sketch picture of Harry's wife, as if someone has been in a courtroom with her, drawing a picture of her. And then they provide you with the details of the coat and where it's from, and the bag and where it's from, and the scarf and where it's from. And the interesting thing is, this information comes out exactly the same time as the story breaks. So how is it that what Harry's wife wore, the Instagram platform, how do they know about the details which they can then put out there, which media outlets can then go and look at and go, oh, right, okay, it's a Max Mara coat. Go on their website, look at the cost of it, shunt that into the article, go yard bag. Okay, right, yeah, we can see what that is. Hermes scarf, thank you very much. Look that up and we can put all of the cost in there, because the Daily Mail always likes to give you the details of the cost in the same way they always like to tell you the value of somebody's house, even though the article's nothing to do with houses. That's the way of the Daily Mail. Accordingly, the journalists are able to get information from sites such as this, but where does the site itself, where does What's Harry's Wife wore get the information from? It's very clear. Harry's wife sends it to them as part of her merchandising efforts to try and get as much exposure so that people buy these products, which then lead to, one, her having a boost in her fuel matrix because people are responding by purchasing things that she wears, which is a form of fuel, but also it's likely that she might be on some kind of kickback arrangement, almost like an affiliates, whereby she will get a percentage. What also might be doing, of course, is undertaking this with a view to resurrecting the TIG so that she starts to build a relationship between her and these brands to say, I'll wear your brands, I'll get you lots of publicity, now pay me a percentage or send me freebies. Again, another residual benefit. But the fact remains, not only does she look ridiculous wearing all of that clothing when it's warm weather, but it's also entirely transparent that she's doing it to merch, which is a form of a certain control drawing fuel and getting a residual benefit, that she also ensures that the information about what she's wearing and its cost is then sent to certain sites, such as the Instagram site What Harry's Wife Wore, so they can publicize it, so more people can look it up, and it generates a consequential impact for her. The fact is, it's shameless, transparent, and entirely see-through in the way that she behaves. And so, for the purposes of overheating and getting the pit stains of doom back and getting all sweaty, she goes along with that because it enables her to engage in merchandising. Rather than wearing something just to wear it because it looks good, Harry's wife regularly ends up wearing stuff because it serves a purpose, not beyond keeping her cool or looking great or staying warm, but simply because it's going to give her access to the residual benefit caused by merchandising. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.